Alright, it's time to talk about the 4th episode of The Muppet Show with guest star Ruth Buzzi. This is a very interesting episode, and I'll get to that in a little bit. But first, let's talk about the plot. So, Scooter brings in a crate.
Scooter, what makes you think you can bring a crate into the backstage?
My uncle owns the theater.
And a nice crate it is.
Inside of it is a robotic TV show host that looks identical to Kermit.
Right, Scooter, that is the dumbest, the craziest, most ridiculous idea you have ever...
Throughout the episode, it tries replacing him, and even tries hitting on Miss Piggy.
Piggy, let me explain.
Oh, explain this.
Thankfully, by the end of the episode, the robot starts to malfunction. So, what do I like about this episode? There are some very funny musical numbers in this episode, including the opening number, Sunny One, where it starts off as a nice slow number, but because it's so slow, Animal forces the song to get faster and faster.
Wait a minute. Thank you for the smile up on your face.
Another great song is I Never Harmed an Onion, sung by Ralph. Similar to You and I and George, I just love these little songs sung by Ralph during the first season. Now, I think the plot is very clever. This robotic Kermit trying to take over the show and replace Kermit. But I'll talk about it a little bit more in a couple minutes. Now, honestly, the funniest part of this entire episode is a sketch where they have Ruth held hostage. It is just hilarious.
Expert in decoding, and he is a crack Jim Rummy player. I mean, he was really terrific.
Please don't do anymore. Stop. Don't talk. Please don't talk.
Now, while I do like a lot of the episode, I do have some problems with it. First of all, the clever plot of the episode, nothing is really done with it. Sure, there's a funny scene where the two of them are miming each other, and when the robot Kermit is hitting on Miss Piggy, and then she takes her rage out on the real Kermit, but I just wish they had done a little bit more with it, like the robot trying to imitate Kermit introducing a number. It takes nearly half the episode to have Ruth Buzzi in a sketch. Also, the closing is kind of confusing. Ruth comes out and says she's introducing the final number, which is actually a really funny scene between her and Sam Eagle.
It is with great pleasure that I present the Gogalala Jubilee Jug Band.
That does not sound culturally uplifting.
But then it turns out it's not really the final number, because then they have a sketch right after it, which again is funny, but why did they say the Jug Band song was the closing number? But overall, what do I think of this episode? Well, I don't usually do this, but these are the notes I took while watching the episode. And like I said, this is a very interesting episode because the beginning of it is just sort of, it's nothing special. So, you know, I was like, yeah, maybe you should just skip this one. And then once Ruth Buzzi was in there, I was like, okay, maybe watch some of it. But once she's introduced, the episode really picks up. That's what's so interesting, like I said, because this goes from being just a kind of dull episode to being really entertaining. So, yeah, I'd say watch this episode. A lot of good laughs. The plot isn't all that interesting, but there's a lot of great stuff in this episode to make up for it.